Is the Christian church failing to truly love its neighbors by denying LGBTQ+ acceptance and inclusion? Let's dive deep into this urgent and provocative issue. Hello, brothers and sisters in Christ. Today, I want to address a topic that has stirred heated debates and divisions within the Christian community: LGBTQ+ acceptance and inclusion in the church. Before we dive into our discussion, I'd like to acknowledge that this is a Christian faith-based channel. While we welcome perspectives and insights from people of all backgrounds, our primary focus is on exploring topics from a Christian perspective. We aim to foster a respectful and inclusive environment where everyone can engage in meaningful dialogue, even when discussing sensitive or controversial issues. Please keep this in mind as we proceed with our conversation. God bless you all. Section 1: Biblical Interpretation. First, let's examine the Bible's teachings on human sexuality. Some believers argue that the Bible condemns same-sex relationships, citing passages such as Leviticus 18 verse 22, which states, "Do not lie with a man as one lies with a woman, that is detestable," and Romans 1 verses 26 to 27, which describes men and women engaging in unnatural sexual acts with people of the same sex, resulting in punishment. However, others claim these verses have been misinterpreted or taken out of context. They argue that the passages in Leviticus are part of the Old Testament's purity laws, which are not binding on Christians today, and that Romans 1 addresses pagan idolatry and lustful acts rather than consensual, loving relationships. Additionally, proponents of LGBTQ+ inclusion in the church point to Jesus' teachings on love, mercy, and acceptance as evidence that we should embrace all people, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. What are your thoughts on these biblical passages? Are they relevant to our discussion on LGBTQ+ inclusion in the church? Share your opinions in the comments section below. Section 2: Theological Perspectives. Next, let's consider the broader theological perspectives on human sexuality. Some Christians argue that God created humans as male and female, as stated in Genesis, and that any deviation from traditional gender roles and relationships is sinful. They cite passages like Genesis 2 verse 24, which says, "For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh," as evidence that God intended for marriage to be between one man and one woman. On the other hand, others maintain that sexuality is diverse and fluid, and that God's love and acceptance extend to all people, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. They point to the fact that Jesus never explicitly addressed homosexuality, and that his teachings focused on love, compassion, and the inclusion of marginalized groups. They argue that the church should not discriminate against LGBTQ+ individuals, but should instead welcome and embrace them as part of the larger Christian community. How do you reconcile these differing viewpoints? I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Section 3: Church Policies. Church policies regarding LGBTQ+ inclusion vary widely among denominations. Some, like the United Church of Christ and the Episcopal Church, are more inclusive, ordaining LGBTQ+ clergy and performing same-sex marriages. These denominations argue that their policies reflect the core Christian values of love, compassion, and justice, and that they are adapting to the evolving understanding of human sexuality and relationships. On the other hand, denominations such as the Roman Catholic Church and the Southern Baptist Convention uphold traditional teachings on marriage and sexuality, and do not ordain LGBTQ+ individuals or perform same-sex marriages. They argue that their stance is based on a literal interpretation of the Bible and a commitment to preserving the sanctity of marriage as a union between one man and one woman. What role should the church play in shaping societal attitudes toward LGBTQ+ individuals? Should it adhere strictly to traditional teachings, or should it evolve to reflect the changing understanding of human sexuality and relationships? Are there ways for the Church to maintain its core beliefs while also becoming more inclusive and welcoming to LGBTQ+ individuals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Section 4. Social implications. Lastly, let's discuss the social implications of the Church's stance on LGBTQ+ acceptance and inclusion. As society becomes increasingly accepting of LGBTQ+ individuals and their rights, the Church must grapple with its own role in promoting love, acceptance, and justice for all people. Many argue that by excluding or marginalizing LGBTQ+ individuals, the Church is perpetuating harmful stereotypes and contributing to the discrimination and prejudice that these individuals often face. Moreover, the mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being of LGBTQ+ individuals within the Church is a crucial concern. Studies have shown that LGBTQ+ individuals who experience rejection from their faith communities are more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. As followers of Christ, we are called to love and support one another, and to create environments where all people can thrive, both spiritually and emotionally. How can the Church foster a more inclusive and welcoming environment for LGBTQ+ individuals while remaining true to its core beliefs and values? Are there specific actions or initiatives that churches can undertake to better support LGBTQ+ members and their families? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. In closing, I want to remind you that Jesus taught us to love our neighbors as ourselves. As we navigate these complex and controversial issues, let us keep his teachings at the forefront of our minds and hearts. Now, I want to hear from you. Let's engage in a meaningful dialogue about LGBTQ+ acceptance and inclusion in the Church. Leave your thoughts, opinions, and experiences in the comments below, and let's work together to better understand and embody the love of Christ in our world today. Thank you for joining me in this crucial conversation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions on the Christian faith. Remember that by engaging in these discussions, we can learn from one another and grow together in our faith journey. God bless you all.